Aboroboye. Nowadays it has become fashionable for people to doubt, question, and even challenge and undermine leadership. And this happens across the board, but it is particularly punctuated at this point within the broader Orisha community, especially here in diaspora. It's almost become common practice to undermine, right, the different levels of leadership. And it's not foreign to Nigeria either. We have kings who come under fire. We have the highest levels of priesthood who come under fire, all the way down to just the heads of family. Right? Everything is very tenuous at this particular time, and some would say with just cause. There are lots of examples of corruption and abuse of power and just a total distortion of what things ought to be in the favor of individual gain. But at the same time, when we measure the imperatives of reality of this time, and for us particularly as a community, and we start to understand the ways in which we're so vulnerable, it becomes that much more important to find the incentive and the drive to identify strong leadership and organize ourselves around it. Somehow, some way, we've got to find a way to uphold the value for leadership, because we live in a competitive environment, and even though we can't live in the past, we have to be cognizant of the fact that colonization, it didn't just end, it changed, which means the same groups of individuals who organized themselves to go in and carve up Africa, for example, in the Berlin Conference. Those groups, those organizations still exist. They're still carrying out a mission. They still have innovated and changed and developed new strategies and methodologies for maintaining absolute power and control in Africa and around the world. And so there's no way that little clusters of individual, two guys here, three people there, you're not gonna dismantle that kind of a centralized power. They're very, 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 very organized, and they've got some very set rules, and they've got a very clearly defined plan, right? And you can see those plans in some of the organizations that govern the world. If you just take the time to go and research them, this isn't about conspiracy theories. This is about looking at the organizations that define the world economics, that define the military developments around the world, that control food and water, and they control movement. I mean, they've got plans, and it's very well defined, and they've got people, put into strategic positions to uphold those plans. We don't have the benefit to squabble over every discrepancy and continuously seek out ways to discredit and undermine strong leadership. We've got to figure out a way that certainly protects individuals at every class and in every category, but at the same time intensifies leadership within our community, especially visionary leadership. In those instances where we meet people and we identify people who are not only ready, willing, and able to make decisions on behalf of the collective body, but people who are really committed to taking the practice and the tradition to the next level. It's so very vital that all the different groups of individuals, smaller groups, find ways to take advantage of that and to support that and to encourage that and to get those leaders more training, get them more resources, get them more support, so that they can continue to perform at a higher and higher level, but in a way that benefits the collective. So that's the living challenge that we have as a group. How do we continue to support strong leadership that gives us a competitive advantage in a way that also strengthens and protects the identity and the rights of smaller groups all the way down to individuals. Abora aboye, aboshishen.